To get started with this video, let's go ahead and open up the 2010 Camaro assembly. Now, this is a model that I did probably about 5 years ago inside of Solidworks, and it's comprised of a multi-body part and then 4 rims. So it's not really that complicated of an assembly, but it does allow us to take a look at the assembly of components and how we can visualize these assemblies. Now, inside of SolidWorks, there are several different ways that we can view our models. Now, a lot of times when you install SolidWorks or somebody else installs SolidWorks on your system, you might notice that they have a very reflective, flashy looking model on the screen like this. You can see all the reflections. You can see a reflection on the ground. You can see how the light bounces off of the different parts. This is typically called real view graphics. Now, real view graphics are great to visualize your model, and in recent years, SOLIDWORKS has gotten much faster at processing this. On my system, the exact same computer, exact same settings, everything, 2015 was a little bit harder on the system than 2016. So if you're running 2016, and you have a decently set up computer for CAD, then you should be able to do things like manipulate the model fairly quickly, change to different views, and look at different aspects of your design with real view graphics on. To turn it on, you want to go to your heads up display, to view settings, and down to real view graphics. If you don't have the heads up display on, you can always right click and turn it on as one of your toolbars. You right click up here and you'll notice that we have the view heads up option. You can also go to view, display, and down to real view graphics. Now there are several other options inside of here. From this drop down, we have shadows and shade mode, ambient occlusion. We can turn perspective on and off. And if you have a camera view, the camera view will basically override perspective, but you still have all the other options with the exception of perspective. We can also do a cartoon mode, which allows us to really change the way that things are visualized. Something that SOLIDWORKS added in 2016. You can render in cartoon mode with a few different settings, and you can also visualize it in cartoon mode. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense for this product, but sometimes the cartoon mode looks pretty cool. So as we're looking at this, if we want to turn real view off, we simply use the drop down, select real view graphics, and we go back directly to the material view inside of the SolidWorks modeling or assembly environment. Let's talk briefly about the other examples in here. Shadows and shade mode allow you to put shadows on the entire model. Now, the shadows will be based on the size of the part, the shape of the part, and so on. If you have a ground plane, then you'll be able to display those shadows. Ambient occlusion allows models to cast their own shadows. For instance, if we had a light directly above the car, we would have a shadow inside of the rim. So this is how things work in reality. So it's very handy to turn these on again to make your visualization that much more powerful. If you want to turn everything off, you can go back to a pretty plain Jane sort of view on your model, and that can really take away some of the extras that might draw your attention away from modeling. When I'm doing modeling, I usually turn perspective off, so I get my straight on views, and I turn off the real view graphics. But when I want to really get a good look at what I'm doing without spending the time to do renders and so on, it's a good idea to turn these things on, and it makes it that much more realistic. And we'll go ahead and we'll turn shadows and perspective back on and go back to sort of a front view.